Keith, thank you very much for joining us bright and early from Houston on CNBC. Listen, obviously, the pandemic has taken a big toll on energy, but energy was sliding even before the lockdowns. What is the current state of the job market, not only in oil and gas and not only in Texas, but nationally as well? Because North Dakota has also taken a big hit.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult times right now. So it's not just energy, as you mentioned, some of the big names have laid off tens of thousands. But here in Houston, it's not just those companies. Every company is virtually somewhat related to energy. So here we are, a recruiting firm, never setting out to be an energy recruiting firm, but up to 80% of our business is energy when things are booming. So we've had hundreds of thousands of job losses. We're at about 14% unemployment here in Houston, which is the highest number ever on record, even including the 80s downturn. So we're used to the boom and bust cycle, but even for us, this is a very difficult time here.
Yeah, and Houston has ridden out these waves, and Houston is arguably maybe the most important economic city in America. Many may dispute that, but I think it is because it has powered job growth for about a decade. Even after the Great Recession, Houston was adding jobs, people packing up their lives, getting in a U-Haul and moving to Houston, a very important city outside of energy. What is your long-term prognosis, Keith?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's just been the perfect storm. We had energy was on a slight downslide before this all happened, and then in March it took a further tumble with COVID, and then you had the China trade war. But long term, we've been through Harvey, we've been through these ups and downs. I think the jeopardy that you always have with these sorts of downturns is that people leave the energy market. So they leave, workers leave, and they just never come back. So they either they retire early, or they just move on to something else because they're tired of it. They're tired of the cycles that you go through in energy. So we'll come back. We always do. We've already started picking up. It may not feel like that to the hundreds of thousands of people without their jobs, but we at one point, we were a recruiting firm with no one calling us for new jobs. That was a reality in March. In early April, already we're back to about 40 to 50% of our new job orders compared to what's normal for us. So we're still optimistic. It is going to be a long haul.
Yeah.
You don't take hundreds of thousands of people and put them back in the workforce immediately. It's going to take some time.
Yeah, and about 2/3 of Houston companies, publicly traded companies, are still oil and gas focused. The city may have diversified, but it's still kind of, crude oil is kind of the blood that runs through the city's veins. You are getting some calls, Keith. That's good news. What kinds of jobs are still being hired for in oil and gas right now?
In oil and gas, it's more dependent on, I would say, the risk profile of the leadership. So, no one sector for us is really strong right now. Oil and gas, you'll have folks being hired in the front office, but there's not much drilling going on. Rig counts have dropped dramatically, as you've pointed out on your show before. So it's difficult, but we've seen manufacturing jobs, we've seen pharmaceuticals, we've seen the essential workers. They've been hired back. So the grocery stores. And you've seen some other areas, technology, we have some of that here in Houston. So that has picked up a little bit, but I can't say there's any one area that has really been strong. It's just been pockets.